Good morning. Today is Tuesday, November 26, 2024. Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach is a controversial figure. There were things he did, a lot of which we learned after he died, that hurt people and disappointed people. And he made beautiful music, so much of which is standard in our synagogues, at Jewish weddings, and other Jewish events. And he taught meaningful Torah and brought many people closer to God. So if it bothers you to hear a Shlomo story, you're welcome to stop here and I will understand. My approach is to try to accept all parts of his complicated personality. Some I accept, some I reject. I heard this 10 years ago in Yerushalayim from Ruth Yair Nussbaum, a wonderful Torah teacher. And it goes like this. Every morning, as part of the Shachris, the morning prayer service, we have a section called Psukei de Zimra, which means verses of songs. Mostly this section is passages from Tehillim, from Psalms, written by King David. This section is introduced by a prayer that starts with the words Baruch She'amar, and it concludes with a prayer which starts with the word Yishtabach. And after this section comes Baruch Hu, and then the Shema, and then the Shmona Esrei, the Amidah. Now, at the end of the concluding paragraph, the paragraph of Yishtabach, we say a praise of God, that God is Habocher B'Shirei Zimra. The normal translation of that is God is Habocher, the one who chooses, B'Shirei Zimra, musical songs of praise. God is the one who appreciates musical songs of praise. We just finished singing songs of praise to God, so we say God is Habocher B'Shirei Zimra. God chooses, God appreciates the songs that we've just said. Rabbi Kalman Shapiro points out that there is a problem with the words. Habocher b'shirei zimra. So habocher means who chooses or who appreciates, that's God. Shirei is songs. Zimra is songs. The two words don't make sense together, they're synonyms. God chooses or appreciates songs. The words don't make sense. So, Rav Kalman Shapiro explains that the word b'shirei, shirei, which we're translating as songs from the word shir, that's not what the word is. The actual word is shiurim, from the word shirayim, which means left over or rejected. So now let's try to understand what this phrase means. Zimra, songs, we understand that. We think we know what Zimra is. Melodies that are beautiful, that are desirable. That's Zimra. What is shiurim? Shiurim means left out, ugly, unimportant. And this applies to everything in life. It applies to things, it applies to ideas, but it especially applies to people. All too often we judge people as either good or bad, beautiful or ugly, important or unimportant. But God's view is different than ours. Often, what we see as shiurim, rejected, ugly, in God's eyes, in reality, is Zimra. It's the most beautiful, the most important, the most cherished. One of Rabbi Shlomo's early famous songs is Leman Achai V'Rayoi. It's part of the davening. On behalf of my brothers and sisters, I will pray for their peace and well-being. Hashem oz la'amo yitain, God gives strength to his people. Hashem yevarech es hamo b'shalom, God blesses his people with peace. It's very well known. We sing it every Shabbos at ADATH. You know this. Leman Achai V'Rayoi, Leman Achai V'Rayoi. Maybe you didn't know that Shlomo composed that. It's ubiquitous in Jewish life. Shlomo once told the story of how he came to compose that now iconic song. Early in his career, in the 1960s, Reb Shlomo was living in Berkeley, California, and he used to have these evenings in hotel rooms, happenings. People would come, it was very crowded. Shlomo would sit, he would sing, he would tell stories. All kinds of people would come, religious, not religious, Jewish, not Jewish, all kinds of people. Berkeley, California in the 60s, imagine. And everyone who came in, Shlomo would get up, he would greet them, and he would kiss them, and he would hug them. It became the practice to greet everyone, for Shlomo to greet everyone in this way. One night, a young man comes in for the first time, and his face is deformed, and physically he is terribly ugly to look at. So this young man comes in quietly, and he immediately goes to sit in a dark corner. He did this wherever he went in order not to cause attention to himself, because he understood the effect that his appearance had on others. Shlomo saw him come in, saw him go directly to the corner, and Shlomo thought to himself, I'm glad he went directly to the corner, so I don't have to kiss him because he is so ugly. He is shiurim, one of the rejected. And then Shlomo said to himself, Shlomo, you hypocrite. If it's important to hug and to greet and to accept everyone who enters, it can't only be for some. It can't only be for those who are beautiful and nice. It must be for everyone, because in truth, everyone is created in God's image, and that means everyone has beauty. Everyone in God's eyes is a zimra, is a beautiful song. So Shlomo got up. He went over to this young man in the corner, and he said, welcome, friend. And he kissed him, and he hugged him. This young man began to cry because no one had ever treated him like that. And Shlomo began to cry because he remembered this teaching. Habocher b'shiyarei zimra. And it was then that he composed this song, Leman Achai V'Rayoi, praying for all of my sisters and brothers. That iconic song came out of that moment. In our prayers in the morning, we say this every day about God, that God is Habocher b'shirei zimra. That God chooses the beautiful songs that we sing to God. Yes, that is true. But we must also remember that God is also Habocher b'shiyarei zimra. God is the one who chooses even those we think are rejected or ugly or disfigured, either physically or emotionally or spiritually. And if we're going to praise God as Habocher b'shiyarei zimra, that means we need to do the same. My friends, I wish you a great day, and I look forward to seeing you soon in person.